but in her neighborhood, who played like that. And when she was interviewed, she was saying this. She didn't make it up. She learned it from somebody. And then I was listening to I've been thinking about this for a while, because I know this style of playing, and I do my own version of it, because I've got these fake nails. So then I was, a couple of years after this revelation, or a few years after this revelation, I was driving back from Kelowna from my gig at the Tuscan Moon, make reservations. And there was a guy being interviewed. He was Elvis's guitar player early on. I think he's since died, but it was an American roots. And he was talking about how Elvis would frail the guitar. Elvis would frail the guitar some. This is a guy, good old boy from the South. And he'd frail the guitar some and sing. And then he and the bass player would do their thing. And that was their trio that Elvis used. And that that once Elvis' career took off, they couldn't hear themselves. So they said but Elvis would wiggle his bottom. So this was the first band that was conducted by somebody's bottom. He didn't say bottom either.
Yeah.
But anyway, to frailing the guitar, because I've known about frailing the banjo for decades. There's like in banjo lore, there's a frailers and claw hammer, which is the same thing when you hold your hand like this, like that. But and drop, thumb, claw hammer, and all these different things people say. So frailing is just another word for claw hammer, and other people say no, it's not, and they can argue about that, But I never heard of anybody frailing a guitar before. And then I realized, this is like the African American nomenclature for how to play the guitar when you play, low notes with your thumb and you brush, thumb brush, thumb brush, thumb brush. I say, so it's just like frailing a banjo, only you're doing it on the guitar. And that's what Maybelle Carter was doing, and that's how Elvis played. And then to cap it all off, I was looking at Lester Flatt of Flatt and Scruggs, because I thought he was a flat picker. I thought people told me that they named flat picking after him. And actually it's named after the kind of pick you use. It's a flat one instead of a curved one that goes around your finger. It's just a flat pick. I think, but I might be wrong, see, because this is what I think now, because I've heard these things, and a lot of things I think I've learned it wrong. So you're always trying to find out if it's what I think is guitar playing is true. So anyway, Lester Flatt was frailing. I thought he was doing all the flat pick like Norman Blake or Doc Watson.
I went and saw the Carters one time. Back in the late 60s and early 70s, Johnny Cash, his touring show, it wasn't him in an opening act, it was a show. Mm-hmm. And the Carter family and the Statler brothers and Carl Perkins all toured with him, and it was a whole show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think now you have your opening act and you have your main act and everything like that. But instead of having a show like you'd have a variety show, like you have a vaudeville show, and you have different things that come up, and whoever's the star MCs it kind of.
Or that tour that Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and Big Bopper got killed on. They used to have in Peoria. They were the WIRL Shower of Stars. That was the radio station that would sponsor the stop in Peoria, and some record company would have all their artists who had something out at the time, stick them on a bus and send them out.
Mm-hmm. Or a plane, unfortunately.
Well, no, that was an extra. A couple of the headliners decided to take a plane and get to the next town quicker.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. Leading cause of death. That's what did in Jim Croce. 20 years later, or less, I guess.
And Waylon Jennings gave up his seat to Richie Valens and didn't go down with him.
Yeah. I think apparently it always bothered him. Kind of felt bad about that. But I don't know, man. One thing that's interesting, I know I'm wasting time, I should be playing this guitar, but nowadays, if you go hear like a night of music at, say, the Mill down here, everybody's got a set. Everybody's got their one set, and then you have to tear down and get another band up there in a hurry. And back when I was a boy, doing my shows, I would get a gig. I'd be there from 9 to 1, or 9:30 to 1:30 or whatever, or 9 to 1:30. And I'd play, I'd play 45 minutes or 50 minutes, go out to the parking lot, take the dog for a walk, give another bowl of water, come back in and do another set. And then I'd, drive home from somewhere in Wisconsin and get there in time to watch Rocky and Bullwinkle at 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And then the phone ring at 9 o'clock. Best part of the day is over. Anyway, but nowadays you only do like 40 minutes. I mean, being able to have a repertoire for I think it makes you. I'm sorry, these kids these days. I think it makes you tougher. If you can do like 4 hours, like 4 45 minutes. So it's only 3 hours, but 4 45-minute sets for without repeating yourself. That's yeah. I mean, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I had 340 songs on my list when I was doing that regularly, and
Got another Shower of Stars story.
Okay.
Went to one of those one time. Chuck Berry was on the bill. He came out and did about 20 minutes. But the headliner was the fabulous Fabian.
Oh,
Do you remember him at all?
Fabian? Yeah, vaguely, yeah.
Couldn't sing a note. Well, he could sing a note. That's all he could sing was one note. Sang the whole song in that note. Anyway, after everybody else, he was the last act. Everybody else did their bit. Then a wedge of cops came out, ran Fabian up to the stage. He did his hit, and then they ran him off.
Oh, because he was a teen idol and they were afraid
Yeah.
that all those girls were going to attack him?
And the girls did. They just went wild over him.
Yeah, and he couldn't hardly sing at all, right?
No, he couldn't.
So what was it about Fabian? Was he? I remember him vaguely.
He was a pretty boy. Matter of fact, that's how he got. He had the same manager as Frankie Avalon, and the manager bet some other guy, I can take the next good-looking kid that comes down the street and make a rock and roll star out of him. And the next good-looking kid coming down the street was Fabian. They got him singing lessons, but he just couldn't sing. But they made a rock and roll star out of him anyway.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I suspected these things sometimes.
Bobby Rydell was on that show.
Vaguely remember Bobby Rydell too.
He actually could sing. Frankie Avalon could sing, and Chuck Berry could sing, but
Yeah.
Fabian couldn't.
But he was probably the cutest one, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I'm not the expert on that, but the girls all went wild over him.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about like the Justin Bieber phenomenon. Now he's kind of tatted up, and he's done some disgusting things, and he's turned into a very naughty boy. But when he first got started, he was about 16, I guess, and he had this really cute hairstyle.
Yeah, he was really young, and he got famous on YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah. But he had this really cute hair, apparently. That was the thing about him. And I guess he writes songs and he can sing and stuff and play guitar, but that was the big thing was his cute hair. And then for some charitable reason, he cut off his hair, and I think he auctioned it off or something. I don't know, but there's this thing, about, taking advantage of young girls. Something young girls go through, So you get a guy, and they would call him cute. See, he's really cute, I remember, was it John Davidson or something? There's a kind of baby-faced guy.
Yeah.
That was around when I was a kid, like the early 70s, and he was on
Yeah,
TV
he was a
a lot.
70s act.
Yeah.
Went and saw him at the fair one time. Got out his banjo and said, thing about banjos is you can only play oldies on them.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was a nice guy and everything, but he had this kind of baby fat cheeks. I don't know how he aged. He's still out there somewhere, but
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about him in years and years. So.
probably not. I don't think I don't think if you have that kind of face, I don't think it ages well.
Yeah.
It kind of.
A lot of those pretty boys don't. Like you see Robert Redford now.
Yeah. He looks okay. Doesn't look like a. He must be.
Sure don't look near as pretty as he did when he was in his 20s and 30s, though.
Yeah. He must be 80 by now.
Probably.
Yeah. Well. I probably look.
We're
cuter
more
once.
we're more ordinary looking people. Don't seem like they change that much.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I've been ugly all my life. What do I care, right? Yeah, I might have been cuter. I knew a guy had a T-shirt that said, "I used to be cute," but I think he went through a windshield, and I think he was 27, and he dropped dead in front of it was a copper dollar in those days. Yeah. It's the Blue Moose now, I think, but bar on Iowa Avenue. Used to they had music back in the day, but he fell down dead. But he had epilepsy and alcoholism, and the alcohol didn't help his epilepsy medicine. And he would end up in the hospital, and they'd dry him out and clean him up and fix him up, and then he'd get out, and he was a good drummer. But then one thing would lead to another. Yeah. So I don't understand anybody who would sit down to drink a case of beer in one sitting, in a couple hours. I think that's too much liquid for anything else. But anyway, yeah.
I don't know. I heard Andre the Giant used to do that easy.
I suppose. Yeah.
Said he could drink 100 beers a day.
Really? Well.
Of course, he weighed 400 pounds.
That's true. But even so, I mean, I weigh like 180 something, and I mean.
Well, I'm sure it takes some practice too.
I suppose, yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, you hear about functioning alcoholics.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah,
They're drunk, but they can function.
yeah. I've known a few. I used to drink. I gave it up a long time ago, and I wasn't, but I wasn't like a real hardcore drinker when I was a drinker. And then when I stopped, I didn't have to go join a support group or anything like that. I just like was in the music business and looked around me, and then I had this little kid to take care of, and I just gave it up, and
I was episodic. I'd do it on 4th of July and Labor Day and
yeah,
New Year's Eve.
That's normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to try to get home by 11:15, by 11:30 anyway, from the Tuscan Moon on New Year's Eve, because all the amateurs are out
Yeah,
that
the
night.
people who only drink on New Year's Eve are out drinking.
Yeah, and driving home, and so I want to be home before they're done drinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, so but yeah, I don't know. I think it caused some trouble not. That's what caused some trouble not drinking and being in the music. I mean, I was thinking about these breweries that pop up here, the craft brewers or whatever like that, have music, and I was thinking I'd like to find like at least 1 or 2 Thursday nights a month. I want to play somewhere. I want to play electric guitar. I want to play loud, and that'd be a place for me to go. Yeah. It's because it's not like fine dining. People are still drinking wine and everything like that.
Well, that one up in Solon, I went up there one night, and it's so loud you can't hear yourself thinking there.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, that's why so then I take one of those amps that I can't play at home, and then crank it up and put the earplugs in and just go for it. But,
Yeah, look at most of the musicians you see on TV anymore are wearing earplugs of some kind.
well, they have in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
So instead of having a monitor on the floor, which is going to give you feedback. Anyway,
I'll bet they must be turned down some, because
well, they block out the sound, and they block out the sound. And then you don't hear
looks
it.
like we're about due for the finale.
Yeah. Well, I mostly withdraw from talking about, but here's my Martin guitar. If I don't see it, have yourself a merry little Christmas. I play Christmas.
Look for us next week upstairs.
Next week upstairs, yeah, come on down. We're gonna do the top guitar show upstairs. The Access Center is closed, but Uptown Bill's going to be open, so we're going to do the show from up there.